Back to another episode of the Heinz Report Case Files Editions. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today is going to be a special show because if you've been following this channel at all, we have been covering the Jonathan Majors case and we know how that's going. We've done a special stream with a criminal defense attorney joining us as a guest to kind of break down what was going on with that case. Not the lawyer chick was her name, and she was masterful. I enjoyed it. And we also had another guest on, Katt, whose thread went viral on that episode. Well, I don't know. Can I say viral? Semi-viral. Well, regardless of viral, semi-viral, she's back tonight, and I'm really looking forward to speaking with her on this episode. So thank you so much for joining me once again, Katt. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hello. I am good. I am ready, locked and loaded to go.
Per usual. Love that. So Adam Foss, right. What makes it this case so unique in your perspective? Like, why is this case kind of a special interest, at least for you?
Well, I think every case is unique, and you got to look at every case as being unique, especially when it comes to the evidence. You can't just try to say that one case is similar because of the evidence in another. But the reason it's particularly relevant is it's Priya Chaudhry was his defense attorney. That's Jonathan Majors' defense attorney. It was in the Manhattan district. So it's the same district, same DA that the Jonathan Majors case is under. And when the verdict came down, Priya issued statements to two different outlets. One is a pro-Black outlet that has been reporting on Jonathan Majors, has been reporting on instances of, false accusations, false imprisonment, mass incarceration, and hip-hop entertainment things.
Right.
But Priya gave...
Wait. Sorry to cut you off. Which outlet is that, by the way?
This News One.
News One. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First time I'm hearing it in my
So they've had a lot of coverage on Jonathan Majors and were one of the first to cover this acquittal story.
Right.
But Priya Chaudhry actually issued exclusive statements to them. Right. And those statements they were all about characterizing the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, and basically their tendency to, according to Priya's characterization, which I'm a bit sympathetic to, I agree with it, that Alvin Bragg seems to at times go out there and look for the publicity of a case, look towards character assassination rather than fundamental evidence in making a case.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
And so that's why I heard of this acquittal. Two people pointed this story out to me, and I started working backwards. And then going through it, I was like, there's really not much evidence available. What can we work out from it?
Right. And I think there's also the interesting aspect about this case as well that I've seen is the time period as well, because it was in 2017. No charges were brought. I believe it was until August 2022. What do you know about that area? I'm saying this because of your thread, because it was quite informative. So give us a little bit of a rundown.
So for time frame, the incident allegedly took place in October 2017. I guess I don't even need to say allegedly anymore because we had a jury do some fact finding. But the supposed incident, the claimed incident, took place in October 2017. Now, before I go any further, we should say that the Manhattan DA has not released the name of the victim that's the subject of the charges in the indictment. They have not named the person that was raped or assaulted according to the indictment. However, as we go through this conversation, we're going to piece together why I'm personally 95% sure, maybe even more than that, that it was someone by the name of Reagan Seeley who ended up writing a Medium blog post to share her story where she claimed that she was raped by Adam John Foss.
And what year was this? And what year was this?
So she published this in 2020.
Right.
So this was after, but if we work back, if we look at some of the information, the date that it was supposed to have taken place in 2017, she was 25. That was the same age that the math works out to be with the indictment. The Manhattan DA also started looking into this because of this blog post. So this is the reason they opened an investigation anyway, was because of this blog post. And then we also have someone that did a vlog that was sitting in the courtroom during this, Ella Dawson, who said that Priya's line of attack was Reagan Seeley is a creative writer, and what she's here, or she didn't say Reagan Seeley, the person on the stand, the witness on the stand is a creative writer who used the internet to try to do a Me Too style crowdsourcing to get Adam Foss canceled, to get him removed from his TED Talk speakership and other speaking obligations that he had.
Sorry, continue. So what?
What if you think about that? The DA kept the name private of whoever this was on the stand, but the line of attack was that this person on the stand that is remaining unidentified, unnamed. The line of attack used against her to discredit her was that she went on the internet and wrote a story and tried to create a Me Too movement using Adam John Foss's name to get other people to come forward. And that's exactly, if you go to Reagan Seeley's blog, she tells her story publicly, she tags it as Me Too, and she makes a call to action for people to use Adam John Foss and Me Too to share their stories and experiences on Twitter. And then she starts a Twitter thread. So to me, the line fits, and not a single other person that had took part in the Adam John Foss hashtag came out and said, hey, Adam John Foss raped me. So deduction there, it's who fits. If we're playing the game of Clue, that's how we work backwards. And I understand why the Manhattan DA doesn't want to name somebody. That's kind of normal procedure. But since it's a closed case, we don't have cameras in the courtroom. The court transcripts, they're not available. Maybe they'll become available in the future. What we're able to look at is this public information.
I'm actually gonna try and get hold of the transcripts. I'm looking into that as we speak.
If he sues civilly, there was a hint that he might take other legal action. That's when, here comes the sunlight, right? Because that would all be
public knowledge.
Yeah.
So if he does sue civilly, then that means those Medium articles are going to be in real in real scrutiny now. So you mentioned the Twitter threads, because this was there was one person that brought up the Twitter threads of him being a creep. I'm not sure if I can characterize it as that, but
the one poster that shared the Instagram messages.
I believe it was Instagram. I don't know. Tinder.
Yeah, it was Instagram DMs. It's the only one that had pictures and screenshots of messages. There was one person that shared.
Yeah. And
it was added to this thread.
So like the reason why I went there is because of how much it speaks to the what's the word I'm looking for? It speaks to what you said earlier in regards to the crowdsourcing, to try and get people to join in with the hashtag and say, hey, this guy has done this guy has done that, etc. And also there is also this other thing that's going on in my head, because I do want to talk about that. Like, I'm not sure if we have the permission to play the video. It's on YouTube, but I know it was Patreon exclusive, so
it's YouTube. It's unlisted, but it is publicly shareable. That's how unlisted videos work. So that's your call.
No, I'm just worried about copyright, because she might strike and be like, "No, I didn't get permission to do it." I mean, Ella Dawson is an Amber Heard stan. I don't trust.
So I can give a rundown of in that video. It was 13 minutes. Some of it was talking about her new studio setup, so it wasn't 13 minutes about the court. But she sat in for 2 different days. Remember, this was only is not for people that are coming in here and they're watching things like the YNW Melly case, which the jury just got dismissed today. They're doing this is trial 2, and they have to do a whole new jury selection. So it's like a year-long plus case. This is not something like that. It's not 6 weeks like Depp first heard, or some of these other cases that go on for a very long time. It was a 2-week trial, closed doors. But Ella Dawson sat in for 2 days, did a vlog about it. She said that she was. She said that she was. I mean, but that's a good percentage of the. She saw the cross-examination of the key witness. She said that she was sitting right behind Adam Foss and his team. She commented, and this is something that people don't realize either. The courtroom's really small. Like, it's not like these big, grandiose, like, halls that are huge when people are sitting in a courtroom. It's close and cozy, and that's not always a great thing if for a genuine victim to have to sit in the same room as someone that they were affected by.
Right. Did she write down or say what Foss was saying, or what I was looking, or what the person looked like?
No, and I'm not sure if he even testified. I'm not sure that he testified. So either we don't have her talking about his testimony because he didn't testify, or because maybe he testified before the time that she was there.
Right.
If she didn't go on day 1 and day 2, and maybe he testified then. But she did characterize, some of the things that were brought into the trial that the jury was able to see, or that were not brought in that the jury was not able to see. So they were able to see personal text messages, explicit text messages between John Foss and the person on the key witness. I'm going to call whoever it was key witness. So that was shown to the jury. She said that things like his behavior, his substance abuse, drinking, alcohol problems were not allowed to be discussed in front of the jury. So the jury was unaware of that. And that was kind of an element you see in some of the social posts where, like, someone else echoed that, he would be kind of weird, somber, depressed, and down, and then he'd be really horny all of a sudden the next time he was messaging me. So there could be some type of reason that could be important to tell someone if you're trying to say that he has a pattern of this type of behavior. But nothing about his alcohol use really came in front of the jury. And then also the jury was not allowed to see any of these specific stories from other people. Now, Ella Dawson kept describing these other stories as the experiences of other victims, but she said that Priya was able to make a general argument that this key witness went out there on social media and had people coming together in a Me Too style movement to bring their stories together. So the jury, to me, seems like they were aware that there were other stories out there, but they weren't allowed to, the state was not allowed to produce these specific social media posts. And if we look at the news articles with the limited information they share, one of the things Priya called out was that Bragg was trying to introduce these social media posts that are screenshots of anonymous messages sent to Reagan Seeley and then posted. So there's a lot there, because on one hand, if someone else has a valid story, it could be something that could go to proving an event actually did occur and that justice should be served, because that action is bad, it's criminal. But on the flip side, you can't just introduce something that's completely anonymous and screenshot it. How do you provide foundation for that? How do you authenticate it? How do you take those statements under oath if it's just a social media post and that person that wrote it does not come forward and say they wrote it? And personally, looking at the screenshots, I looked at all that I could find. This isn't as saturated as when you go on Twitter and you see what people are talking about with Jonathan Majors. It's a lot less to go through. But these stories are all just, he gave me bad vibes, or they say same. I had the same experience, except for all that you actually went through. My same experience was just he DM'd me while I was a student of his, but we never had a physical encounter. So there's a lot of posts that when you really think about it, they're just vague. They don't explicitly say that he did anything criminal with me. Some of them hadn't even like spent time in a room alone together with him at all. But these posts are just saying same. So if you were to show something like that to a jury where someone's saying, I had the same experience, and the jury just assumes that that means, well, if this key witness's experience was rape and assault, and you're showing me 3 other social posts that say same, that means he raped and assaulted 3 other women, and he probably also did it to this 4th woman that's on the stand today that we're here to fact find.
Yeah.
So there's so many problems with the idea that, I guess, Alvin Bragg, according to Priya Chaudhry, just wanted these social media screenshots to just come in.
Yeah, and clearly it would be insanely prejudicial to actually have them in, because as you rightly put out, like, there is absolutely no way to even ascertain how or why. I mean, for all you know, he could have just been walking down the hall and then he says hi, and then she had a bad day that day, and he's like, oh my god, I'm creeped out that he said hi. It could be anything, like, could be anything. I don't know why. Also, I mean, this is really, really, really off topic, but I thought he looked like the guy from Snowpiercer,
from Snowpiercer. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Oh, I thought it was. Is it what David? I forgot his name, but he looks like It's because of his dreads. It's because of his hairstyle. He looked like him. But so at first I was like, oh wow, is he like, No, but it wasn't him. I was so
well, but that's kind of important too, because it's one of those things where, there was commonality. Some of these other social media posts about experiences with Adam John Foss under the Adam John Foss hashtag, some say that he was like charming and handsome, and a lot of them said that they thought that he'd be a good source of opportunities. Like some tried to hint that, hey, it felt a little weird, but I thought there could be opportunities, so I continued talking to him anyway, and I'm so glad that this didn't happen to me. What happened to you? That's literally how some of these people are empathizing with Reagan Seeley's story.
Yeah.
But you're coming out and admitting that you supposedly had a gut feeling that this was a bad vibe about this person, and you're happy to say he gave you bad vibes now, but you're saying the reason you ignored it or didn't want to realize it at first was because of his looks, charm, or connections in the industry, or connections with his speaking engagements.
Right.
And to me, that's the flip side, right? If these social media posts, if these people came forward and wanted to get on the stand as witnesses, the defense could have asked these questions to these witnesses.
Right.
So if you either bring the witnesses in, if you're the state, you either bring the witnesses in to authenticate what they're saying on social media to help build their case against Adam John Foss, or you don't let them come in at all, and that means the defense doesn't have a chance to cross-examine these people who posted these social media posts. Because what would you ask if any one of these people that tweeted that they got bad vibes, what would you ask them on the stand if you were the defense attorney?
Well, I'll definitely ask them. Did he stop you from getting major roles? No. Okay, fine. I rest my defense rests on and something like that.
Well, it's like one of those things. Like, did he ever hurt you? Did he ever assault you? Did he ever do anything non-consensually to you?
Yeah.
Like, you just ask these questions, and it's just like, no. And then, like, to me, that's kind of a loss for these people to come forward. It's not much. You message each other on Instagram 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, and
it's not really enough to establish a pattern. And then you would need an expert witness, I feel like, to come in and testify if there's some type of proclivity behind people who DM people on Instagram.
Just quickly going to the chat, and we'll go back to this because there is something that post caused that may have a ripple effect for the civil case that he's planning to bring, because I think he has a very good case here. But I'm gonna go to the chat for a minute. Flavio Souza, welcome. Hi. He or she, I believe it's a he. He's
Is he?
Flavio is a guy's name. He's from Portugal. Welcome. He also asked any comments on Avon Briggs press conference on bias and hate crimes this week. PR stand any relation to case in regards to Foster Majors? He did. I don't know about that. I will look at. I didn't know about this one. I will look at that. Do you know anything about this one here?
So when he first took office, his mission that he wanted to target was sex crimes. And obviously, sex crimes often it overlaps with special victims, it overlaps with DV. They can be grouped together more closely than other types of crimes, right?
Is he the same DA that's also
doing majors?
Majors, yeah. He's
So
all right.
So that's not a sex crime, right? Majors is not a sex crime, but it's DV, it's intimate, there's protections for the alleged victim. There's a lot less cameras in the courtroom, and there's public access to some extent, but it's a lot more restricted.
Right.
So there's overlaps there, but that was his mission when he came into office. And this week he announced a new initiative. They're going from, I think, 96 or 66 to 98 crimes that will be classified under New York code as hate crimes.
Right.
So different things that can be charged as hate crime.
Right.
So that's like a 50% increase. That's a lot that you're expanding the goalposts there.
Absolutely.
And to me, obviously, there's a big press conference around it. It always sounds good when anyone says, hey, we want to put an end to hate crimes, right? Because in theory, on its surface, who doesn't want that? No one's gonna like the person that says, "Why do we want to stop hate
crimes? Why do we want to do that?"
So in general, it's just like it's surface level. It's good optics to say that you're against that, but I do think it's a re-strategizing this whole idea of going after sex crimes maybe isn't working out if we want to lump in some of the DV and the other closed door types of prosecutions under that same target mission. That doesn't seem to be going all that well. And then if to parallel, Flavio also brought up another case where a man was killed by, I think, three other individuals, and the main one that did the killing, he had the greater charges. He got less than the minimum sentencing for it.
Wow.
And this is through Alvin Bragg's office. So you have very lenient prosecution on a murder.
What race was he?
A conviction, but the penalty, the charges stuck. They was found guilty, but on sentencing, penalties less than minimum. But you want to take a strong stand against.
Yeah, it's a bit hypocritical. It's a bit. Well, not hypocritical. Double standard. I don't know what word to actually use here, but it's rich. Maybe rich is actually better. I'll go back to slang for a bit. Maybe it's very rich that
disproportionate.
Disproportionate. Thank you. Thanks for the assist there. But on top of that, going back to Foss for a bit, because John Legend, an actual legend in the game. What such a name. Anyway, John Legend actually came out in 2021. Let me try and go into. I'm not sure if I have
John Legend, this tweet is stemming directly from her Medium blog post because she name drops him in that blog post.
Yes, sorry about that. Very terribly sorry for if you were not able to hear anything there for a second. I did not realize that. Thank you so much, Flavio, for alerting me about that. So so in regards to John Legend and his post, so he does have, I would say he has a claim for damages. And to just recap everything that was being said, basically, it became thank you for letting me know, Flavio. It became what it basically became was like it turned out that the person that was accusing John Legend in 2020, the person that wrote the blog post, I forgot her name. Help me out here. What's her name again? Something
Reagan Seeley.
Reagan Seeley. Thank you so much. The singer. She basically wrote that blog post, and then in the blog post mentions the fact that he knew John Legend, and that spawned what we're reading here, which was basically that he was using his name and association to gain credibility and then go on to harm women. And then he basically says, we are sorry to all women that he has harmed, which
it's an adoption to me, I would argue that that's an adoption of the accusation that's in the underlying blog post. Right. When you're reading this, he does not refer to that blog post.
No, of course not. Of course.
In the Boston, the Suffolk County DA office, when Rachel Rollins, I think she's still the DA, she released a statement, but I don't think it mentioned the blog posts, and that was the reason that the investigation was coming up. But her press statement doesn't mention anything about John Legend. So when a reader is reading this and there's no source, right? A reasonable reader would think that John Legend's tweet is being based on some other information that John Legend has. But we can guess that information is this Medium blog post.
Right.
Because that's the place where the name John Legend is mentioned. It's not in her Twitter thread, and it's not in the Boston announcement of the investigation.
Right. We're gonna go. We're gonna go straight to the status that she made in regards to all of this, because this was on the 19th of this was on the 19th of November 2020. So it literally a month or something before John Legend's blog post. Again, this is all alleged. Oh damn! I did not see my D. I did not see that. Oh gosh, I need to get used to this interface because I'm such a boomer here. But no one read anything, did they? I'm gonna cut that part out. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna do my best to blur everything out that you saw, that no one saw anything. No one saw.
You're gonna end up me too. They're gonna be like, we were in his DMs. See?
Yeah. But yeah, it says sharing this is one of the thank you for the amazing support on the Adam John Foss stories. Further uphold to the extent people are empowered to speak out. Blah blah. Ella Dawson spoke out again. Amber Heard support. I don't know why I had to reference that. I just thought everyone should know. And that was all of this. I'm pretty sure if he was to action a suit, this will be very, very relevant to that suit. And again, this well done.
So keep in mind, if you were to look at the calls to action that these people have, I think it might be in the Ella Dawson blog, my story. Yeah. I think it's in the Herpes blog. There's a Medium blog post that it's one story is Ella's, the other three are just other AGF stories. But at the bottom of that one, I think if you have to click it to open it, there's a specific call to action to get him removed from his speaking platforms. So, as far as
hold on, the content is under review.
Yeah, I don't. It could be I don't know how strict or not Medium's terms of service are. But you know how that could happen for anything.
But they're not really that strict. I have Medium. They're not really that strict.
Oh, okay, that's interesting then. When I saw that, I was like, oh, maybe it's not that big of a deal though.
I think it's because of the case, because it's been there for like 2 years. It wouldn't be under review for 2 years. Sorry, 3 years. Sorry, now I doubt it'd be under review for like 3 whole years. You know?
Yeah, I don't know how it works, so I don't know. But
Nah,
if you
yeah,
go to
but
the,
sorry, continue.
I'll say scroll to the bottom. I think this is the one where it has a call to action. It'll say call to action, and it lays out exactly what they want to come from doing this.
I think you can control it as well on your end if you wanna take.
Mm-mm.
No, you can't. Okay, can't. Oh, actually, yeah, you might need to share your screen.
Yeah.
Control it.
So
Yeah,
call to action right there.
that's the one. Okay, this is the one called
Now
action.
imagine you're writing a petition to open, defamation, claim of damages against somebody, and you
Right.
got to state that what harm was done to your client.
Mhm.
Read this call to action and tell me if you would put that in as, you know.
Yeah, this is definitely going. If if should be never mind. If this is this is a defamation slam dunk per se is already.
But and let's look at the flip side though, right? Like let's find out, let's say that he wasn't acquitted, he was found guilty. Let's say, or even trickier, let's say he wasn't found guilty of one charge, he was found guilty of the other. Like whatever, it could be a mixed bag. But then would something like this be wrong if the underlying grievance was true, right? Like I'm looking at this from the position that he was acquitted, and looking at what I'm able to see, I found what I think is a major inconsistency in Reagan Seeley's story, and if she was the key witness, I would not find her credible. But let's say it was true and he was convicted, I would look at this differently. Because now it wouldn't.
In what way?
Because like, would this still be malicious if this guy was truly harmful and then found by a jury to be truly harmful? So all of a sudden, the pathway that we're speaking with defamation now would kind of move off the table, or
Yeah,
it'd be a very high hill to climb.
yeah, it would be.
Because is it malicious to try to get a harmful person out of a, some of these places are universities, public places, schools.
Yeah, but I don't think that's. Yeah, I mean, unless I'm not sure. Do they have a serious harm? I know in the UK they use serious harm or something like that. So maybe that might speak into that one. But I'm not. I don't know in the US. But what I'm guessing pure guess here. If they don't have something to prove that they have this. Like if he doesn't have herpes, this is straight up defamation. Like, if he actually doesn't have it, then how did Reagan know? Well, I mean, I'm guessing it's alleging that he's got herpes, right? Like, I don't want to get that wrong. It's alleging he's got herpes. So if he doesn't actually have that, how did Reagan come to the conclusion that he has it? Like, to me, that would be the actual matters playing out, in my opinion.
So I believe Reagan and I believe Ella Dawson both say that they did not contract herpes from him.
So how did they come to the
but Ella's story is at the top here, and I think if we reread it, because this isn't something that I focused on that much, but I think if you read it, she makes a point of having an experience with him and being aware that he had herpes, but was lucky that she didn't get it herself.
That's not enough.
Hers was the very first one, all the way at the top.
Yeah, but that's not enough. That's not enough. I'm sorry.
And it's another thing. Like you'd have to prove. I mean, if he could come up with one text message that said, "Hey, I have a breakout today, so we shouldn't meet up," like then you can't say it was a criminal. He intentionally infected you. Like we don't know any of this underlying context. We just have a social blog post.
Yeah.
That isn't being scrutinized by a judge, or jury.
Anybody. Okay, so right. So in regards to this, because the person that got the acquittal was Jonathan Major's lawyer. It's like for someone, because I know that we discussed it on the last live stream about the media play and the PR play and all that. For someone that was doing that a lot with Jonathan Majors, I don't know why this one really swept under the rug. Like, why do you think, oh, fuck. Oh, quick chat before we go into that. Quick chat here. Flavio just said Foss admitted he had herpes.
Yeah, that's why, like, if you look, it's addressed by some of the stories in there. Some of the stories are long, but that was my read on it too. Is, we have Reagan, who doesn't say anything about herpes, so maybe it's possible he contracted it at some point after the 2017 alleged incident. But these other stories, if they all came from after that time period, there's possible that there may be one person that didn't tell that he had herpes because he didn't know yet, maybe, right? But he has admitted to Ella Dawson in, actually it was before it, because it says March 16th 2017.
Yeah.
He said he had herpes and that he struggled with STIs.
Oh, he said, okay, yeah, she could. She could.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So that's another thing. Like, and then you go to the bottom, and the call to action is that he knowingly infected, like,
Yeah.
because that is, there is, you can litigate against somebody for knowingly infecting you.
Yep.
And withholding something from
Yep.
you like
I'm
that.
eating my
But
words now. I'm eating my words.
the first blog post, and I didn't realize her experience was March 16th 2017, and that doesn't mean he didn't tell somebody else, right? It's just, we know that he obviously told her, and someone could say that he's not afraid to tell anybody. He's at least told one person.
Damn. This is a wild case, and I'm gonna try my best to get transcripts, because I want to see what Priya argued. I want to see how she handled this case. But to go back to Priya for a second, because we didn't hear about this case at all in the media. There was no litigation. In fact, the only thing that she said about the case was how they were weaponizing against an innocent black man. She really leaned into that and was saying that the DA,
with a white woman accuser.
Yes.
So there's two sides.
Yeah, it's the same. It's mirror parallel. In fact, mirror is the right word. It's a mirror of what she said in regards to Jonathan Majors, and and we know what Natalie said about that. Like, that's you don't tell the defense what you're going to do, what you're going to argue.
Well, but on the flip side, we've seen Priya be very in the media with the Jonathan Majors case, I would say she's not alone in that. The prosecution has also very much been in the media with the Rolling Stone and Variety, and the Rolling Stone here kind of did what Reagan Steele did, where they went out and investigated anyone that may have had a bad experience, bad vibes from Jonathan Majors ever. And there may be, when I say that, when I kind of lightheartedly characterize the big picture there may be one or two examples in there that had a serious experience that is really relevant. But the media is looking for this big headline number, right? Like 40 other women, a dozen other accusers, things like that. And that's kind of what Reagan Steele and then Ella Dawson were doing with this call to action. They're not journalists, they're bloggers, they're writers, they're commentators. I think Ella Dawson refers to herself as a sex culture critic. I think that's her tagline. So, but you see what I'm saying? There's
what does that mean? Wait, I remember hearing that before, and I asked this same question before. What does that actually mean? I don't know what it means. Sorry, continue.
I think it's broad. It could mean a lot of things. I think you would need to. It would be up to the person to define more particularly what their niche topics are. But there is a little bit. It's not mass media. It's not Rolling Stone. It's not Insider. It's not New York Post. Which Priya's on one side of those, and the prosecution's on the other when it comes to Jonathan Majors. But in this, with Adam Foss, you did have a hashtag for him that was attached to Me Too. the original blog post that Reagan posted, she tagged that on Medium as Me Too. So, there was this type of, it was attached to a broader movement that did have reach in mass media. And then you add into it the mix that this guy's a former prosecutor, which is, it's always a big deal when someone in a position
of power,
of power, whether that's, in the education system is one, in the legal system, in the justice system, of political power, it's always a juicier headline. And then he is someone that has some following because he runs a nonprofit, he had celebrity affiliations, and he has a TED Talk with millions of views, which that's a resume bullet point, right? If you had a TED Talk with 2 million views or whatever, you'd list it on your website about me. So you take all this into consideration. There is some media magnetism with this case. It's just not anywhere near the level of Jonathan Majors. And we know Jonathan Majors is at the very beginning of his career. He was skyrocketing as this case came forward against him. And to be fair, it's a much less serious charge. It was at one incident of assault alleged one night. It's not as something as grievous. To me, a rape is much more serious than an assault that is characterized as a fight over a cell phone or ripping at a jacket or something like that, which that needs to be determined, right? We don't know all the facts yet for sure, but it's a different seriousness of crime.
It's insane how he lost everything just based on that. It's so so small.
So I didn't see in my research Priya Chaudhry coming out and releasing things to the media, putting documents into insiders' hands. I didn't really see the prosecution do that either. They made a huge statement around the indictment to let it be known they were indicting a Boston prosecutor for rape charges. So there was a little bit of press puffing, a little bit, but it's not the same thing. So now I don't feel quite as critical or cautious about why Priya Chaudhry's playing the media game, especially knowing the prosecution's playing just as big of a game with the Majors case, because Majors' career is at its very early inception. Adam Foss already had his career as a prosecutor. Then he started a nonprofit to advocate for prosecutorial reform. He has a speaking engagements, which if he wants to continue those at this point in his life, he has this hurdle now hovering over him, because when you Google him, his rape's going to come up in association with his name. So there's an issue there, but it's not quite the same as having a client who just got a Marvel starring role. And the franchise is being built around his character being a prominent part of a storyline. So now, knowing that Priya Chaudhry did not run to the media until after this verdict, versus Jonathan Majors, why she's playing the media game, I think that's a very interesting thing to look at strategically. She's employing two different strategies for two totally different contexts, in my opinion.
Right. So looking back at this now, so seeing her get this victory, because I'm looking at it, I mean, I need to see the transcripts for me to determine how strong of a litigator she actually is. But do you think Major's chances have gone slightly up a little bit? Do you think it's encouraging to see her get this victory and then going into the Majors case, into Jonathan Majors' trial, that she might get something there as well?
I think the biggest difference it'll make is, if you look at how Priya Chaudhry, people are since March have been saying Jonathan Majors lying attorney. She's just lying. They're lying. They said that there was a witness statement. They said there was a video, and there's this whole characterization that she's a liar. But at the end of the day,
there were videos.
Whether she's a liar or not, whether there's a video or witness statements or not, the jury in this case agreed with her theory of the case and the facts that her side either prevented or were able to attack successfully that the state presented, right? Because the jury, it's a jury trial. They did deliberate for more than one day. It wasn't like they walked in and walked right back out. But, they looked at it, and I think that's actually a good sign, right? I don't think it's it's something that could be written down as written off as a he said, she said type of situation.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to kind of look at everything that was presented to you. It's not just oh, the guy slipped up on stand and said he did it, so we know he did it. Done. We're going to turn this verdict form right around. But we have a jury validation that they agreed with Priya Chaudhry that, according to the New York Post, her closing line, her closing argument, she said, you might feel a certain type of way about his, sexual relationships with women and how he talks to women in DMs, but you are here to find out if the state has proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt that he engaged in criminal behavior, i.e. rape and assault against this woman. So, and they came back with an acquittal that has to be unanimous here in New York for a criminal charge like that. And that means they agreed with Priya's ultimate theory of the case.
Right.
I think that's reassuring, because it doesn't matter if someone on social media thinks that on March 27th, Priya was already lying when she said, we are actively obtaining evidence and statements and video. Like, for someone to say that she was lying at that point in time because she didn't already have a video and it wasn't already in the public's hands, when she said we were working to obtain, it doesn't matter if those people are calling her a liar or saying she's a lying attorney. It just doesn't, because they're not a jury.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you said all. I'm glad you said all that, because I should have. What I should have said was, could you make a determination without mentioning the jury verdict? Do you think he did it?
Well, I mentioned it like 6 times.
I wish I seen it. I really wish I seen what the jury saw. But I think I'm gonna bring this chat to a close. Before I do that, I'm just gonna read the last chat. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring the stream to a close, not chat. Stream to a close. But before last chat from Flavio says, Priya is doing a great job in the Majors case. The amount of exculpatory, damn my pronunciation, evidence is impressive, including videos and at least 4 eyewitnesses. I think she's built a very strong case.
And she got on that in day 2 or 3, and it's one of those things, like, imagine Grace didn't go out with those 3 strangers that night. Would they even really have been able to locate them and find out who they were? Like, it's possible they exchanged numbers with Grace, and that's the reason they were able to contact these people if they are going to be witnesses.
Right.
So
yeah, absolutely.
It's something she had to take action on. That's why she was saying 2 days after the incident, she was already working to obtain and pull all these things. She moved like lightning.
Yeah, like it's one of the like that's a testament to, I mean, it's given me a lot to look forward to. But again, like you said, in regards to the Foss, even with the not guilty thing, he's now got that stain on his back, like, wherever he's gonna go, they're gonna Google his name, and that's the first thing that comes up, despite the acquittal. So it's making me think this is Jonathan Majors' life as well now.
And the benefit there is Majors seems like a much more private person, despite his celebrity star being a bigger scale.
Oh no, but this is tainted it though. Like, it's like.
No, but I think he's lucky that it's much more private.
Oh, you mean it could have been way worse, like, in terms of
there could have been way more we get bad vibes too. Because I got a little like yuck creep vibes from, I just don't like the type of people that DM people and start it's just not my type of person that I'd want to talk to, so and that doesn't mean I think that it makes someone more likely to be like a criminal or an aggressive or abusive person. But he put himself out there in DMs, DMing people. It's a little bit like the Deshaun Watson thing, where it's like, bro,
this is what dating apps are for.
You're in like 26 different massage people's DMs, knowing that you're a famous person that's getting like a 6-figure contract, or 8-figure contract. Like, don't do this. Don't put yourself out there, because it will be screenshotted. Even if you do nothing wrong, it will still come back to you in one way or another. But and I don't think Jonathan Majors is like.
Yeah,
no. He was in another celebrity's messages. It was making good, but.
That's the show, folks. Thank you so much. Oh, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm getting used to all these UTV things. So I'm going to be autonomous very, very soon. So those will slide right off the tongue. But make sure you follow Miss Marco Polo. Gosh, please. Why? You need to change that username. I'm sorry.
I know. I've had that. What is it? 2011 or something. I've had that.
Like, all I keep remembering is Family Guy in my head and Stewie Marco Polo. Like, that's all I got in my head, and I still don't know what the hell it is, or like just that one cutaway guy. Anyway,
well, Marco Polo is a historical figure, but Marco Polo as a game is when you're trying to locate someone, you say Marco and they yell Polo. That way you can like auditorily find where they are. It's like a game people play in the swimming pool with their eyes closed, and you gotta like try to.
Sounds so. it just sounds so. You're weird. You're weird.
It's not only me.
No, I know. It's just I don't know. I'd never. I mean, I just go to swim pools to swim. Like, I don't play games like. Anyway, no. But anyway, yeah. So thank you so much for everyone that joined. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. Do follow Katt. She does also have a YouTube channel. Is it Bad Take, Good Take, Bad Take, or
good take _, bad take?
Yeah, like she covers a lot of these stuff literally in such great detail. I think you brought it out yesterday, like literally just like that, as the acquittal was announced. So yeah, also follow her on Twitter as well. Legit, an amazing creator. Thank you so much, Flavia, for exercising the chat. Thank you. Guys, thank you. Take care. You take care of yourself.
Good to see you, Flavia.
Yeah, enjoy your evening. I know that it's 9 o'clock now in Portugal. No, not 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock in Portugal. So enjoy your evening. But yeah, everyone that's on the other side of the world is probably like 3 o'clock now. So yeah, like enjoy your day. We're gonna close off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share this, and also subscribe, comment as well. Don't also look out for the other live streams that we have coming up. There will be a lot more coming out. We are also going to be reproducing the clips from these live streams so that you guys can see the most memorable or the best bits. Anyways, I have been Heinz. Any last words, Katt, before we sign off?
No, I am good.
Okay, no last words. Will we? Thank you so much, and take care of yourself. Enjoy your day. Bye.